Everybody, welcome back. It's me, Northernlion, the Isaac guy, and we don't lose on quarantine. We're gonna stretch out the hands a little bit. We don't know our HP, but we know we got a little bit, because you gotta start with a non-zero amount, obviously, and we got 2 HP items in our sidebar. 1318 GMDZ. I'm laughing. The man's about to win on quarantine, and you're laughing? I am laughing. I'm laughing because Curse of the Unknown is scary. You know, you don't know where you're gonna end up with Curse of the Unknown. We could have been sitting on 1 Spirit Heart and be frightened. Little bit of deductive reasoning. We're not talking Sherlock Holmes level. I just looked at the items. A little bit of deductive reasoning. You can tell HP-wise, which is our only concern, everything's A-okay. This is a strong candidate to keep this win streak going. I'm excited. Like, honestly, I'm galvanized like a battery. I don't know what a galvanized battery means. I feel like that's one of those English words that means 2 things. If you're learning English, I do get a surprising amount of comments. They're very flattering. They say, NL, you know, I started watching you when I was 15. I live in a country where English is not the first language. When I started watching you, I barely knew what the heck you were talking about. Now it's been 5 or 6 years, you know, combined with study and practice and watching other English forms of media. But, you know, you've been a nice supplement on how to learn English. So thank you for that. I always appreciate it. I am also, I'll take it. I'll take it on this one. I'm not afraid to get a little spiced because our stats are good. I'm also always concerned that there's like a small legion of people out there who learned English predominantly through my videos who walk around talking like me. And, you know, I think, you ever see the Simpsons episode where the power plant in Springfield is taken over by highly efficient German engineers? And I've said it 20 times, so I apologize if you've heard it before, but it's one of my favorite Simpsons jokes, is when the German engineers speak absolutely fluent, like beautiful English, descriptive, non-ambiguous, and then they say they constantly apologize for the fact that they're not fluent, which is really what it's true to life. It's happened a lot. You know, on The Simpsons, they go like, sorry, Mr. Simpson, our English is, how do you say, inelegant? Like, inelegant is one of the most elegant ways to phrase that you possibly could, and demonstrates a high degree of acumen with the language of choice. I get that message all the time. People will write me a message in, like, fluent, beautiful English prose, but it'll always be preceded by, like, sorry, English is not my first language. And I'm like, I could tell, because you're trying. Native English speakers, we take it for granted. Yeah, yeet, you know. People who live in Slovenia who learned English via YouTube videos are like, I apologize if this missive reaches you at an inopportune moment in time. You know, you can tell who is a native English speaker and who is a non-native English speaker. Because the non-native English speaker will sound like they know English more than the native speaker. I'm not saying that's like, haha, some people don't talk right in English. Oh my god. What I'm saying is, I'm putting myself in there as well. Regardless, though. Anyway, I'm moving on. Mostly, so we got a real problem with rate of fire, but our damage is disgusting. Hemolacria, we may have gotten our damage up to the level where the bonus shots from Hemolacria are actually not completely impotent. And the big thing here, to be honest with you, is that Shoop da Whoop is absolutely gonna destroy. So, in a weird twist of fate, I believe that it's so strong, Shoop da Whoop that is, that we should really save it for the boss for now, because I'm a little bit concerned that if we have to shoot multiple times against the boss, depending on what boss it is, we might get hit. Like, that was a pretty good case study right there. Anyway, we're pretty locked in here. You're not gonna like me for saying it. The single best upgrade right here is definitely something like Mom's Knife, though. To be able, probably better than Gulp, actually. To be able to possibly take our incredible damage stat and concentrate it into something that is not as affected by rate of fire, it would be a positive. So I'm going to level with you. It's kind of tempting to take an item there just because we can afford it, but I'm going to say no. I'm going to say that we're not going to do that, and we're going to try to make it work with deals with the angel or deals with the devil later. Old NL was very much about the philosophy. You know, we got, what, 5 red heart containers and a lot of spirit hearts? Why not yeet a couple of HP containers just to get a deal with the devil precedent? It's a bitter pill to swallow, but the medicine might be worth it. New NL is like 1 HP has been the difference maker in a lot of situations. We don't know exactly where this run's gonna lead long term. Why throw anything away for the promise of things in the future that might not come to pass? We're taking all the weird items, I'll tell you that much. I have no idea how these are gonna work together. Hemolacria, eyeball tears, proptosis. It's a strange assortment we've got. So Hemolacria appears to have been cannibalized. Our rate of fire is still obviously like abysmal. I just want to see the raw damage potential. It's high. That's actually pretty nice right now. I was looking for shimmers. I thought I saw one in there. People will not rest until I can recognize immediately the shimmer of the lucky penny. Look, I'm doing my best, okay? Oh, we'll take it. I do feel bad about not being able to get an advantage out of Gulp, but it's not that big of a deal. You know, I mean, the thing with Gulp is that sometimes in my head, and we're going to talk Isaac only briefly, like Jens Lickman in Maple Leafs. The thing I always think about with Gulp is that I always think that, like in my head, I'm like, if I get rid of Gulp, I'm losing a trinket. But you're not really losing a trinket. You can still hold on to 1 trinket, and on how many runs do you actually see 2 trinkets of value? I'm not saying it happens never, but it's probably like 1 in 5 runs where you're like, oh man, I've got 2 great trinkets. I just wish I had a place to hold them all. We should do this because we have 2 of diamonds. Okay, so line them up here. Single best item, like we're talking like 20-minute win territory, is 9 volt. 9 volt or AAA battery. Either one of those pretty much is going to send us into the stratosphere. But anyway, apart from not being able to lose in Isaac, how's everything going? As usual, can't complain. You know, getting used to the quarantine lifestyle, which was not hard as a homebody. I've mentioned it many times. But definitely, you know, if you'll remember, there was a week or two where whenever, you know, I was talking about it, I was like, you know what? It hasn't really started to wear on me yet. I feel bad for you if you're an extrovert, but it hasn't really started to wear on me being inside all the time yet. It's starting to wear on me a little bit. Not to the point of, like, you know... I think we just leave. We could have blown up the thing and then used 2 of diamonds, but I think we just leave, honestly. Not to the point that I'm, like, losing it. And I don't think we want that either. I think we're okay where we stand right now. You know what? I think we want that. I think we want that over the lockpick. Those are not 2 amazing trinkets, by the way. Those are, like, 1... situational, very good early trinket, or very good if you have Guppy's tail, and then 1 trinket that actually has the potential to make the Guppy dream come to pass to begin with. But starting to, like, not go outside, but, like, wish that it was not an ethical dilemma to go outside. Like, I can, if you'll allow me to pull on the Venetian blinds here a little bit. Let's see. It's 7:40 p.m. Sun is still out. It's just it's a beautiful, beautiful day out there. I look at it wistfully, and I say, you know what? I wouldn't mind. I think I wouldn't mind taking just a little walk around. I guess there's nothing to say you can't take a little walk around, but Looking forward to when this is over. Let's put it that way. You know what's going to happen? I'm going to become one of those guys who just sits outside for no reason. I always used to look at those guys and be like, what's wrong with this guy? He has the opportunity to drink his coffee indoors in a hermetically sealed environment with access to electrical forms of entertainment. Instead, he's just sitting on a concrete slab outside of his front yard, drinking his cup of coffee and looking at the road. What a weirdo. Now I'm like, that guy is my spirit animal. You know what? Maybe I'll do that tomorrow. I'll go outside with a cup of coffee and just sort of stand out there for a bit and be like, this is fresh air. I'm gonna be honest with you. As mentioned, probably within the past couple of weeks, if this quarantine thing, and I'm not saying this is the one that would do it, but if for whatever unfathomable reason it went on indefinitely, I think I would be copacetic. You know, I do still consider it a privilege to be inside. I enjoy the creature comforts of home. But I am starting to realize that definitely I'm not like, I could do this forever. I think I could, but I would rather not. What's funny is, like, the foods, I thought the food would be the worst. I'm like, I can't go out to restaurants. What a bummer. But no, I'm more like, I miss the feeling in the wind of what would have been my hair. But anyway, everything, apart from that, that's like, it's taken me down from, like, my usual sunny disposition to, like, a lightly cloudy. You know when you get those little wispy clouds? They're not even, like, real clouds. They're just kind of like streaks in the sky. That's where I'm at right now. Very positive. But just like, I mean, I guess I could go outside, go for a bike ride or something like that. But even then, I'm like, I don't know. Because when I see people that are, like, riding their bikes right now, I'm like, what are you doing riding your bike? It's a pandemic. Don't you watch the news? You haven't watched the news recently? Anyway, that's I'll work on that myself. I'm very happy to see growth hormones. And I think we will double up on... I'm going to try it. I knew it was going to affect our rate of fire, but I thought it was worth it. And I think we are approaching too much of a good thing, but I thought it was worth it because, correct me if I'm wrong, and we'll find out, but proptosis, when it hits an enemy, obviously, it loses part of the power on its shot and becomes smaller. I thought if we took Death's Touch, we would actually... It would still pass through the enemy, like it would still be piercing, obviously, because, I mean, Death's Touch is just piercing to begin with. But then on top of that, I thought it would also not lose its initial power. I might be wrong. So, I think we are getting into real dangerous levels here, mostly with our rate of fire being horrible, so if we miss a shot, we're in real danger. I knew it was gonna happen. But I think we have an out. I don't think it's actually dangerous, for the record. But I think it's, like, potentially slightly dangerous, but we have an out. The out is just the shop. We go to the shop. Whether it's greed, you know, we'd prefer if it weren't. But in theory, how did you not die to a single proptosis hemolacria blast to the face? I don't buy it. I'm sorry to say, I don't buy it. I'm starting to actually get a little bit concerned. That went fine, but it was much worse than I would have thought. Plausible, at least. Okay, so anyway, this was my game plan. We were going to maybe, like, abuse this donation machine quite prodigiously, because it's not all about this shop, it's also about our next shop. And apparently we're going to buy a bomb as well, so let's just funnel that back into the system as soon as possible. Then use the 2 of diamonds. Now we got cash. Hierophant? Not Hierophant, but that's okay. So my hope is that we can use our newfound wealth to buy enough spirit hearts to not have to sweat things too much. Of course, getting magic mush would also be helpful. But I think I'm on the verge of having gone a little bit too zany. And I don't think that's going to surprise too many people. Yo, just what I needed. A damage upgrade. I was just thinking our damage is not quite strong enough here. Acid Baby, not really what we're looking for, but again, very, very hard to complain. We shouldn't be freaking out too much, like, let's be honest. I'm looking at the parameters of this run, and I'm like, you know what? We have left hand, and we have goat head. Left hand plus goat head is a... We're probably, even with 0 guppy items, we're probably at an above 50% chance to become guppy on this run. So I don't think we should be getting too bent out of shape. I don't think we should be too concerned. But it's something to just be aware of. Can I tell you something for real, though? I am very, very happy I didn't... We have to do it. It's going to be better. And it is going to maybe hurt, but don't forget, you're speaking to the master of diagonal walking. Anyway, what I was going to say is, to be honest with you, our flies are going to kill almost anything in a single hit. So... that's exactly what I'm looking for. Alright. So we're building something beautiful here. That was the Guppy's head we've been waiting for. Guppy's head, I overrated. Everybody knows it is the worst kept secret in Isaac. However, yo, we gulped the left hand. It's like in Animal Crossing when you are like waiting for a fish to bite. I will not apologize for making an Animal Crossing reference because I honestly think so many people have played this game. This is like a universal metaphor. Like, if you're gonna be like, boo, Animal Crossing reference, some of us haven't played it. Where were you when I was making so many references to Albert Camus' The Stranger, okay? You weren't there. You were soaking it up. You were enjoying it. Anyway, what the heck was I talking about 2 seconds ago? Oh, what I was gonna say, gulping the left hand is like my brain knew that I was about to do a bad thing before I did it, and it couldn't stop me. It's like in Animal Crossing, when you're on a fishing streak of consecutive catches, and you go, okay, it's only the 3rd one. You don't have to press the button. He might not go glunk this time. He might not take the bait. And then, in your head, you're like, I got it. Wait for the glunk. But then, as soon as the fish bites it, even if it doesn't officially bite it, if it's just baiting you, you send the message down your arm and go, press the button. Meanwhile, you're screaming at yourself. There's like a 0.25 second overlap where you're just like, I'm dumb. You ever have that happen? Has this ever happened to you? I'm actually a little concerned about our HP. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. Now, I don't want any of that. That's the ideal deal with the devil in my world. And combined with the boss room, we got an item that is useful, HP, and we combined that with 2 deal with the devil items we didn't give a crap about. That's one of the best recipes for getting HP. You know, for staying alive on an HP front. You love to see it. You know, I really shouldn't. Excuse me. That was just a straight damage downgrade. Can I tell you what I thought was going to happen there? I thought we were going to get a massive reduction in our rate of fire. Can I tell you what I think has actually come to pass here? And I almost don't believe it myself. I know Mom's Box of Trinkets is so good, but instead I would rather fish for an item that doesn't exist, like a Tears upgrade. Oh, that's the ticket. I actually think... I'll take it. It's a bit of a spend here, but I'll take it. I actually think... oh, that's beautiful. That we're at the tier ceiling? I don't know if the tier ceiling is a thing. But I think that it is. Because... really, triple shot should come with the tears down, but it's possible we've seen so many tears downs that no more tears downs can apply. I don't know, man. I'm a little confused. I'm stoked because I think that the run is still very strong. I mean, it obviously is very strong. Have you seen the items we've gotten? Like, you just look at the sidebar. But This is definitely a bit of an aberration. You know, this is a bit of an unusual one as far as the run goes. Now the question sort of becomes, how do you feel about, oh, I like that. How do you feel about triple shot in this situation? I think the honest answer is that I think triple shot was actually worth taking because of the weird interaction where our eyeball tiers bounce off of one another. So I think it for real might be better than it is bad, but I can't say that for certain yet. Okay, we need a bomb. And that is the literal definition of what we were asking for, but a little scary. It's fine. I do, like the Emperor card, look, old me, I've talked a lot about the contrast between old me and new me, right? From an Isaac standpoint, there's differences, you know, between 2019 and 2020 NL, and there's a lot of differences between like 2016 NL and 2020 NL that I think have been on display in the enthusiasm and the variety of content and the attitude during the content and so on and so forth. But from an Isaac standpoint alone, old me would be rushing the boss rush right now. And what would normally happen there? I would rush to boss rush. I would take some damage that didn't need to be taken to get in there. I would look at the items and be like, none of these are really that good. And then that might put the rest of the run into question. When it really should not be, because we've gotten all the tools we need on this one. Reroll one more time, please. New me would still very much like to make that boss rush happen. Don't get me wrong. And I think we will, actually. However, I also recognize the Emperor is still very good when you just use it for its intended purpose. Yo, fishtail, dude. That's so good. So every time we create flies, we're going to create double. Look at the freaking damage. I actually think we don't even want Judas' Shadow here. I think we're that crystal clear. None of this is that good. I hate to say it, but none of that is what we're looking for. So I think we're off to the races. I think we're steamrolling right now. I think your Emperor card, fight death. You're going to get yourself a little cube of meat. One of the rare items that's useful when you already have this kind of DPS. Oh, we could take Placenta as well, though. Let's see what we got in here. Krampus. Didn't we fight you? Oh no, I was thinking about the other 1,500 and some runs I've done of just this DLC. Okay, how dare you. I think that Lump of Coal actually should make these shots grow, like, super big by the time... Because is Lump of Coal based on distance or time spent in the air? And there's a surprise for you right there. I went with Placenta on that one. I think it's based on time spent in... let me rephrase. I think it's based on distance. I don't know if that's actually the case, but either way, it is useful. It's damage up. Actually, you know what I don't know about Lump of Coal? Does it scale your damage, or does it add a scalar value to it? Like, does it just give you +2 damage at max, or does it, like, double your damage over time or something? I'm just gonna be honest. Like, we just want Guppy's head. This is the rare 100 out of 10 Guppy run right now. Every single one of our flies... Well, now that we have triple shot, actually the flies are a little worse, but every single one of our flies is still pretty potent. Most of these enemies should die in one hit or so. And I'll just call it, dude. This is, for sure, one of the strangest synergies I've had in Isaac. I mean, too much of a good thing. You know, you ever eat... People asked me yesterday in chat my opinion on Kettle cooked potato chips. I'm going to tell you now what I told them then. I like the flavor of Kettle cooked potato chips. If I had to eat merely one potato chip, I would probably choose a Kettle cooked chip. If I am, and you probably shouldn't mindlessly snack too much, I'll admit. You know, you might be saying this is a good thing, you should just not do it in the first place. I do agree, but it happens sometimes. You'll be watching a movie, you're just kind of mindlessly snacking, you know? I actually think that the Kettle cooked chips, a little oily, a little heavy in the gut, almost lead to a little unpleasant feeling if you eat too many of them. That's what we're doing right now. You know, Proptosis, great. Death's Touch, great. Triple Shot, a lot of fun. Hemolacria, interesting at the very least. Eyeball Tears. We got too much of a good thing. We're eating too many Miss Vicky's salt and vinegar chips, and the stomach's starting to act up. We would have been better off just having like some baked Lays. Flavor-wise, maybe not as bombastic, not as spectacular. A lot of people love them a lot, though. But one thing's for certain, after a binge eating scenario, you still feel like yourself. But I think we will be fine. I mean, bad trip is also like, that's a fail-safe for us if things go terribly wrong. We can't. It's just too much. As much as I would like to enable Dark Prince's Crown, because I think our DPS would pop off to absurd levels, I think that it's better to just stay safe. Well, I hope our next run is a little bit more normal. You might not. You might be having a great time looking at this weirdo synergy. And to be honest, after it works, yo, that's so good. After it works, I'll remember this run fondly. For now, though, while it seems a little up in the air, I'm like, I don't know. I could have said no to a couple of those items, just like I could have said no to the Kettle cooked chips. But a craving for Kettle cooked chips is like an itch. There's only one way to get rid of it. Rub yourself with baby powder. Thought I'd just let that linger like a Cranberry song for a bit. Yeah, not as fast of a run as I was originally predicting, though, that's for certain. If you're spiced on this room, just do this. I was just gonna say, I've played enough Mario Maker recently. If I can't dodge like 6 skulls, what am I even doing here? And you might be saying, what are you doing here using your bombs to get stuff? Well, I doubt we'll need them for damage. That's part of it. The other thing is, I really feel like Left Hand is kind of like an O-Town song. You know O-Town? They were the they won MTV's first season of Making the Band, and they had one really big single called Liquid Dreams. I dream about a girl with the Destiny's Child, just another mix of Madonna's wild style with Janet Jackson's smile. And then it goes, rolling her body like Jennifer. She was the star of my liquid dreams. And I don't want to get into it, but if you ever hear someone from my era tell you pop music is too dirty now, I mean, Liquid Dreams went to #1. I think, in America and Canada. The song is basically called Nocturnal Emission. It did inspire a lot of debate, though. Rolling her body like Jennifer? He didn't say a last name. What Jennifer is he talking about? I think we can all agree it was probably Jennifer Lopez, but I mean, at the time, it was a good time for Jennifers, you know? Jennifer Aniston, Jennifer Lopez, Jennifer Love Hewitt. A lot of Jennifers out there. The fact that they made that ambiguous was much like when Carly Simon did the same in You're So Vain, or when Alanis Morissette did not name names in You Oughta Know, although we all figured it out later, apparently, that it's just the goofy uncle from Full House. Who would have thought about that? Not me, that's for sure. Then again, I was like 3 when that... No, I was probably 7 when that song came out, so what did I know? Anyway, what was I talking about? Oh, they had... Yeah, okay, O-Town, they had another song. Their second single, which also did very well, was called All or Nothing. 'Cause I wanted all or nothing at all. There's nothing left to fall with a simple telephone call. You leave me here with nothing at all. It was like... It was not as big as Liquid Dreams, I think. But, you know, every boy band, they just alternated singles back then. Danceable... Lewd song, heartfelt ballad. Danceable, lewd, heartfelt ballad. You know? Again, we didn't have a choice in this one once we gulped, so kind of just... That was what I was going to say. I left myself ample time to get to this moment and then just never got there. I think I'm going to get slightly risky here because I think we've got enough luck to really have a reasonable chance to become Guppy, and the risk is low of backfiring here. But anyway, what I was going to say is you got to open all of the red chests like O-Town, all or nothing at all. As soon as you got the left hand, you might as well When you've grafted it to your body, you might as well just keep it going long term here. Try to turn that L into a W. You can turn an L into a W. So you write a capital L, and then you rotate it like 30 degrees, and then you Control J in Photoshop to duplicate the layer, edit, transform, flip horizontally, and then overlay them so that the tips of the L's touch. How dare you almost hit me. There you go. You've turned your L into a W. That's the rare bit where I needed you to get out a pen and a pad to understand what I was saying. Dude, I like it. I like acid, baby. The occasional explosive diarrhea pill. Hey, explosive diarrhea never hurt anyone. But hey, I'll be here. Okay, they're telling me to go. I will not be here all week. It's very strange for me that this run has kind of ended in a whimper. It was so overpowering for so long, and we just... one too many items showed up, and, you know, too many cooks in the kitchen. Takes a lot to make a stew, a pinch of salt, and some laughter, too. Remember those? Simpler times. Too many cooks. I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. Can you... I thought maybe you could get 2 HP upgrades via puberty. We've gotten, like, puberty and explosive diarrhea just showing up ad nauseum. It's a very confusing time in a boy's life. I'm starting to get, and I know I've probably repeated this exact sentence like 4 times, but like my anxiety level originally when I said I'm starting to get a little anxious, pretty low. 3 out of 10. I'm at like a 5.5 right now. We really, really should not be in trouble. But I think we've managed to screw our run up so bad. It's like, you ever see the show Botched? I've never seen it, but I'm going to proceed to tell you what I think it's about. I believe the show Botched is about plastic surgery done very poorly. I'm going to say something perhaps a little bit controversial. I would never get plastic surgery, I think, except for, like, you know, a grievous injury or something like that in a, you know, very visible area. Like, I'm not going to get, especially because it's part of my brand now, I'm not going to get, like, a hair transplant. I'm not going to, I don't know, get a jaw thickening or whatever the heck people are doing online these days instead of growing a personality. It's just not for me. But I do understand why some people would do it, and I think done right, which usually is like minimalistically, I think if you don't even notice, then it was probably good, right? Just a little touch up here and there. Change the things you wish you had the chance to change in the character creator. However, I believe that the show Botched is when keeping it real goes wrong. I think that's what happened on this run. We got the whole body done so much. We don't even know what parts are from me anymore and what parts are from the factory. I cannot believe we were unharmed there. Not there, but that's okay. This run is really starting to get down there. It's getting more dangerous than it... I mean, now I used to say it's getting more dangerous than it has any right to get. I don't feel like that anymore. Now I'm like, this is exactly as dangerous as it should be. It's spiced up, dude. This is not a great run. And it's got more great items than I think I've ever seen on a run that's not great, but it's the honest to goodness truth. I actually do not think this run is that good. I love having those spiders, though. Now, we should be fine, but I am very slightly embarrassed by the fact that we may not be. I think that one of the smartest things we could do here is fish for a second secret room just to make it slightly more likely. All right, okay, it's fine. Also, quick little poisoning. Do keep in mind, we will get a few Guppy's head charges. Those Guppy's heads are going to do some serious work. And every tick of damage that goes by, every shot we land, especially the ones that end up hitting Blue Baby multiple times, takes us one incremental step closer to being free from this very, very strange, one-of-a-kind Isaac run. That really, it's like a meal that's all desserts, is the problem. It's delicious, but enough is enough. Get me out of here. For now, thanks for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed the episode. If you did, click the like button. It helps out a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. See ya!